Hey, wishing you a happy and blessed Christmas for 2016 from Alicia and Tom. Alicia isn't with me at the moment. She's out doing some stuff with friends. So I thought I'd quickly record this message to send you those best wishes because unfortunately we are not going to be able to make Christmas lunch this weekend coming up. Fortunately, unfortunately, depending how you look at it, we've actually decided to book a holiday. So we're heading to Vietnam and Cambodia for 4 weeks, which is really super exciting for us, but we also feel kind of bummed that we're missing out with you guys. I feel like this might have been the second in a row that we've missed out on, so I really do apologise. We did really want to be there and it just hasn't quite worked out this year. The purpose of recording this is that I get to fill you in a little bit about what's going on for us in our lives. And hopefully then it gives you something to feel a little bit connected with, and then maybe, you know, if you want to do a video or if you want to record a message or if you want to have a chat or send me a letter, I don't care. It'd be great to hear about what's going on for you guys as well. Obviously the reason that we have and continue to be friends is because you mean so much in our lives and have been a source of support, guidance, wisdom, all that sort of good stuff. And we are shattered that we can't be there this year, but obviously look forward to the future and what's going on with all of us. So, to fill you in, there's a few things I want to talk about that I'll go through. Hopefully it won't take too long, but anyway. So 2016 has been a really good year for Al and I. We've had obviously our challenges, our opportunities and growth and things like that, but a lot of cool stuff that's been going on in our lives. Firstly, if I was just to talk about school, some of you will know, but some of you won't. Alicia actually took a job at the start of this year at Luther College as our head of chemistry. Alicia has been a head of science in other schools for years before and had probably got to a point in her professionalism where she was looking for the next step. Though we definitely like the idea of working with each other and it has been a great change in our lives, she didn't take the job for those reasons. It was a professional choice that is a really good opportunity for her to learn, grow and develop. She has relished the opportunity to work with some excellent science teachers and to learn and grow from them, and in turn to offer her experience and wisdom to a different set of people that she hasn't worked with before. It's also been an opportunity for her to work with some really high academic achieving students, and I think she's been excited and challenged by that. Our results come out for Year 12s December the 12th, I think. So we're looking forward to those coming out, not for us, but for our students, and excited to see how they've achieved. With a little bit of nervousness, because obviously we want our top students to really demonstrate that they are top students, and we don't want them to be unfairly disadvantaged if they've messed something up or anything like that. But anyway, that's exciting for us. So it has been a really challenging year in regards to, from a purely academic sense, and for our learning capacity. Obviously, coming into a new school has been a challenge for Alicia, and she has relished that, but obviously had to work through that and the challenges that it involved. We've enjoyed working together. It basically puts us like 100% in each other's space all the time when you drive together, live together, work together. And yeah, like there's some times where we've probably been a bit crabby with each other and had to set boundaries about when Tom's willing and not willing to talk in the car on the way home. But in saying that, it's generally been a really good opportunity for us to learn and grow together. We do a lot of our debriefing in the car and things like that you would normally do. So I think it's definitely brought us closer and we'd be able to share that professional bond, even though there's some times we probably have to say, all right, enough talking about school, let's talk about other things. Yeah, no, that's been cool. So we are still living in Richmond. This is nearly about a year since we've been in here. If you'll come around, I could show you the latest member of our family. Hey buddy, where are you? I'll see if he comes around later and then I'll introduce you to our little kitten, Philippe. Well, he's not so little anymore, he's getting big. He's about 6 months old. Hey buddy, you wanna come over? Yeah, come on. Come here. So Philippe is a Russian blue. He is meant to be an apartment cat. Hey buddy. Hey. This is what he looks like. So he's getting a bit bigger now. Hey, how you going? So Philippe is meant to be an apartment cat that is relaxed and easygoing and pretty chilly, enjoys time by himself, doesn't need the great outdoors or anything like that. But as he's getting older, he's also getting a little bit browner. And we wonder if there's some hillbilly in you, don't we? Yeah. He has been a loving addition to the family. He's bitten many ankles, particularly Mum's. And as much as sometimes it gets frustrating, particularly now that we have to keep toilet paper inside the cupboard because otherwise he runs it off the roll and throws it across the whole place, it is nice to come home to a little grey kitten that is sprawled out and wanting for a cuddle whenever you get in the door. So that's been cool. That's been a big change for us this year, obviously. Other than that, look, it's been a year of challenge, growth, good stuff, a whole bunch of different things. So I'm really thankful for the things that, oh, thanks buddy, you made the camera shake then. I've been really thankful for the changes that have been made in our lives. We have been busy, and I guess I do apologise that at times I feel I could have made more time to see you all and to make time for my friends. And I feel bad for that because there are instances like this when you reflect and you realise, well, no, I haven't seen that person as much as I would have liked to. Or when you start when you see someone, particularly from school, and you're like, oh, let's go out for a drink with them, and like, oh, great, like I don't mind hanging out with them, but I'm neglecting people I actually really care about a lot. In saying all that, you guys recognise just as much as me that we lead busy lives and there's a lot going on. And thanks, Philippe. Don't eat that, mate. We've all got busy stuff going on, and the fact that we have been friends and continue to be friends is testament to the impact we make in each other's lives, regardless of whether we see each other as much as we used to. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm thankful for the support, guidance, wisdom that you guys have given me over many years and continue to do so. The very fact that I'm teaching is testament to that, because I can remember countless conversations with a number of you that have guided me into the profession and workspace that I'm in. Last thing I would say about teaching is that, hey, all right, thank you. The last thing I would say about teaching is that I do have a new role next year, which is really exciting for me. I'll go into a Year 10 coordinator role, and I'll be looking after about 200 students or so and directing their activities across the year and learning endeavours. That sets up a whole bunch of new opportunities and challenges for me, which I'm really excited about. Thank you. And again, it gives me a chance to learn and work with some different people and to be thrown some different scenarios, I guess, some different ways to interact with our students, develop relationships and those sort of things. So I'm really excited about the new opportunity for me. For Alicia next year, it'll look kind of similar, but an opportunity for her to again solidify her teaching practices and standards. As I say, particularly for Year 12 chemistry, we're really lucky to have her at the school. She's an excellent chemistry teacher. Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to pause the video now because I know this is going to run out after about 10, 11, 12 minutes, and then I'll put another one in, and then hopefully I'll be able to put them together on YouTube. So the other thing I'd like to talk to you guys about, and the other big thing that's happened for us this year, is in regards to my little niece, Izzy. Some of you will know this story. I've talked with a couple of you about it, but many of you will be a bit in the dark. Obviously, it was something that was a big part of our life this year, and something that was a massive impact. And at times it was easier, and at times it was harder to let people in on that. The good thing is that now it's a story that can and should be told, and I want to tell, and I want to share with you guys. So I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about that. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Basically, we were lucky enough and blessed to have little Isabel born to Annie and Ed in April of this year. Annie had a very normal, natural, no dramas kind of pregnancy. Yeah, no issues at all. She was born not that far from here at the Freemasons on Victoria Street. And because Alicia and I live really close to the hospital and to Annie and Ed, we when the call came through, we were the first ones to get there, and I was lucky enough to get the first cuddle of little Izzy. And that's something I'll always be able to hold and cherish, and hopefully tell her about one day. Izzy had a very normal 4 weeks of her life, where she did normal baby things. There were no dramas, no big health issues or anything like that. Just normal being a baby. Everything that got checked out was fine. And it's unfortunately after that things didn't go so well. Now before I get into it, there's a good ending to the story, so I'm sorry this is a bit of a downer. But we come through, so if you stay with me, we'll get there. Unfortunately, after 4 weeks, Izzy went into cardiac arrest, and in the space of that day, she actually went into cardiac arrest 4 times on the way to the hospital, I believe. Once she was received by the Royal Children's and brought into emergency there, they did initial tests, got in there and had a look at everything, that sort of stuff. And the prognosis that we initially got was really negative, really not positive. This is where I'm not entirely certain because unlike my beautiful partner that does have a biomed undergraduate, I do not, and so I'm a bit in the dark on some of these things. But basically speaking, as far as I know, the initial readings coming back from initial tests were that her pH readings were too high, I think. And that was an indication that during that period of significant instability, she had potentially compromised her brain with oxygen not flowing, that sort of stuff. And so they were pretty concerned that she was in a pretty bad state. Obviously, in that very first night getting in there, that was probably the least of their concerns. They just had to simply stabilize her. She got put on an ECMO machine. Basically, she was this tiny little thing lying on a little bed and tubes and stuff going in and out of her, and everything was being done outside of her body, where she was just like a vessel for stuff going in and out. Look, I'm lucky enough to know amazing nurses and people that work in this industry, but every time I go into a hospital, I'm consistently amazed by the people and staff that work in these environments. And we are lucky enough to live in Australia. We are lucky enough to live in Melbourne that has the Royal Children's, because she was in the best place in the world she could have been. Izzy stayed on ECMO for a number of days while they tried to stabilise her, work out what the problem was and where they could potentially fix her heart. In effect, there was a irregularity in her heart that had caused it, would cause it to go into a hyper fast rhythm. Whenever they tried to bring her off the ECMO machine to allow her own heart to start pumping blood and things like that, her heart would go back into that rhythm. So they had a number of challenges over those. I think they tried 2 or 3 times over the first week or so to try and bring her off. That meant that they got to a point where they kind of had to address, we can't bring her off the machines very easily. What's the way forward from here? That meant that they got to a stage where they said, okay, let's do a scan of her brain, because thanks Philippe, in the scan of her brain, if the feedback comes through negative, that she's not active, then Annie and Ed would be faced with a very difficult decision. I don't know what that decision would have looked like, because we were very fortunate that the scan that came back, in spite of the earlier pH tests, which were really not supportive, the scan came back positive, that she was thinking and doing things inside, even though she wasn't moving outside. So because that scan of her brain came back positive, that allowed them to make new decisions, I guess, in how to treat her. And though they involved slightly increased risk, it meant that there was a chance to get her off the ECMO machine. Basically speaking, she ended up getting fitted with a little pacemaker. They had to do a number of operations to make that happen. Apparently, the operations they did were the first done on a person so young ever, which is amazing. And it was amazing to see how hospital staff, as well as resources from around the country, come in to support little Isabel. And the good story is that over the course of the 8 weeks that she was in the hospital, she got better. And she was in there for a while to obviously stabilise and recuperate. But ultimately, we have a story to tell that involves Annie's daughter coming home with them. And it's a good story then. It's a story that is worth celebrating, worth telling. And it's a story we didn't think we would have. So obviously during all of term 2 and into our holidays, then that was kind of the most pressing thing on our minds. The school was excellent for Alicia and I. The communities around us were really, really positive. Greg and Jane stayed with us for about a week here in the city, and we looked after them. what does this tell me? Like how do I reflect on this? Obviously, I'm a teacher. I work on a different end of the human spectrum, and I know that some of you guys that are nurses, you deal with this a lot more often, and so maybe that reality of the fragileness of life is more apparent to you. Go up. Oh man, that hurt, didn't it? Okay, we didn't make it. And so maybe that's a bit more in your mind, as much as more than mine is. But I think irrespective, it definitely helps me think about I don't know what's important in life and how should I spend my time, and definitely makes you want to hug your family a bit more and give loved one kisses. So I don't know, that's the only thing I would recommend for you guys as well, is to be loving and caring and kind to anyone and everyone, because we never know why things happen, and we are incredibly lucky and blessed to see a little miracle where a little girl that was told that she wouldn't come through has, and we're pretty excited by that. Okay, up you go for it. Thank you for making the camera shake. Okay, so that's that story. Obviously I'd love to talk to you guys a bit about more of that if you have any questions and things. From there, I can tell you that Izzy has been a normal baby. She's spent, a good part of her life now not being in hospital, which is really exciting. She still has her checkups and things like that and sees her cardiologist. But she's doing normal baby things. She's little. She's definitely on the lower end. She's in the lower percentiles. But she's still doing normal baby stuff. She's starting to, she's about 6-7 months. So when you sit with her, she'll sit and play with you a little bit and goo and gar and do normal baby things and be cute and, crying and yelling at me. But it's being a baby. Thank you, Philippe. Apologies for the camera shake. So look, that's that story, and it's a long story, but it's a good story, and it's a story worth sharing with you, and I think it's particularly worth sharing at Christmas now as well. So I hope that you enjoyed it. That's been our year, more or less. Obviously having Izzy in our lives has been a big change for us, and being able to support Annie and Bear during that has been a big change for us as well. From here now, Alicia and I are really looking forward to a summer away, a summer on holidays, but we're also looking forward to getting back in early January and hopefully seeing some of you guys. Please feel free to book something in after the 11th of January. If it's before I get back to work, even better, even easier. Lots and lots of love for you for this holiday break. Seriously, all the best. Do good things. Be nice to each other, be kind, all that sort of stuff. Alicia sends her love, even though she isn't here. Philippe sends his love, but at the moment he is playing with 2 Nespresso pods. And he has it in his mouth and is carrying it around. I love you all. Best wishes to the little ones and the big ones and everyone in between. Enjoy time with your family and friends, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.